Playing with him's the best. He's definitely an all-star.
Yes, sir.
I mean,
Come on.
I would say all NBA.
Yes, sir.
You know, that's not up to me.
Wait, can I say,
All right, everybody. Welcome to the official Detroit Pistons podcast. I'm filling in for the great Dr. Darius. My name is Aaron Smith, and today we got that dude. This is Ausar Thompson. Ausar, welcome, man. Thank you so much for being here. Appreciate you.
Thanks for having me.
Yes, sir. Starting with, I just found this out today. Your middle name and your brother's middle name is Excellence, right? XLNC, is that right?
XLNC, that's how you say it.
XLNC. So
Yeah.
Ausar XLNC Thompson.
Sorry,
Where did that
Excellence.
come from, man?
Honestly, my dad, he's a interesting guy. So he thought it through. He knows the meanings better than me.
Okay.
So I got two middle names, Excellency, 𝗙𝗢𝗟𝗟𝗢𝗪 Thompson. So
That's
yeah.
fire.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Excellency. Okay. All right. So this whole twin thing, I've always wanted to ask people. I've never really known any twins, but is that twin telepathy thing real? Like where you really know what, Amen is thinking, even when he's not around you. How real is that?
I would say like sometimes you think it's not real, and then sometimes it like comes out. It's not like you just like know beforehand what he's gonna say, but you might end up saying the same thing and it'd be totally random. Or I know how he feels about certain things. Like if I see a video, but that's just me knowing him. Like if I see a video, I know how he's gonna react to the video. Like every time.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Do y'all keep in touch pretty often? I know being on different teams, different sides of the country. Y'all keep in touch?
Yeah, I talk to him all the time. I just talk to him.
Real talk.
Yeah.
Okay. That's awesome, man. All right. So let's dive in a little bit to before basketball was like the main thing. Grew up in California.
Yeah.
What was it like for you and your brother growing up, in California before basketball became so serious?
Honestly, looking back, I can't remember too much before. Like I feel like once basketball became a thing, it became serious. Like once basketball became a thing, our brother would take us to the park. We were working out, doing beach workouts, running hills and stuff. So I feel like my earliest memories are basketball.
That's
At all.
At all.
At all.
Wow. So then, 8th grade-ish, you moved, I know, to Florida. But up to that point, when did you know that basketball was something that you might be better than most people at? At what point in your life?
Honestly, I felt that way since I started playing. I don't remember. I remember being in 3rd grade playing with the Boys and Girls Club at the time. So it was like 3rd through 6th grade, and we were actually like playing semi-minutes, and I was like, oh, take it serious.
So what does one do in the 3rd grade that makes them be like, dang, I'm way better than these people? Like how can you know at that early age?
It's not even that I thought I was way better than these people. It was like I thought I could be way better than these people, So I just ran my race.
Respect. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, that's powerful.
Yeah.
So you 8th grade playing basketball in California, then you decide to move to Florida to go to high school in Florida. What came into that decision with you and your brother and your family? How did you come to that decision?
Well, my dad is from Florida,
Okay.
so he knew the area. He talked to the coach. We drove by the school. We would visit there in the summer sometimes, and he was like, I want you guys to go to this school. It was a top school in Florida, so he kind of set it all up.
Yeah.
I don't really remember. I just remember one day we were just moving to Florida.
You and your brother on the same high school team, man, like that had to be tough. Was there competition? I mean, would you say it was one of the best schools? Pinecrest High School, right?
Yeah, but it was more of like an educational school. So it was like the first couple of years that we weren't that good. And then my final year there, we had won states. So that was a great experience.
Okay. Okay. What was it like, playing with your brother? I guess you've done that your entire life. What was it like growing up playing with him every single, team that you're on?
Oh, it was the best. I feel like we played with each other so long. We just know what each other's going to do. I know when he's going to cut. He knows when I'm going to cut. Just look at him and you just know what's going to happen.
Just asking, man. Was there any like sibling rivalry going on? Like I got 30 points and I got 31. I'm better than you. How was that dynamic?
There actually wasn't. Like it was never. I feel like our whole thing. It was like more like about the team. Like so, if we won, we won. It was never like bragging about who scored more points, and most times we usually would like average the same amount. It was always even out, but it was more just about like winning.
last question on this. How do y'all's games differ, you know, in your mind?
I feel like we do similar things.
Yeah.
Maybe he has more reps at being a point guard. Other than that, you know, we both cut very well, play dunker, push in transition, pass, rebound, play defense. Like I feel like it might look a little different, but I feel like the production is very similar.
Yeah.
We do similar stuff.
Who won the last one-on-one game?
He did, but it's not really fair because I was coming back from I hadn't played in so long. But my first time coming back and playing him, I beat him, and I was like, nah, I couldn't beat you.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, I haven't played in this long, and you lost. Then he beat me.
I can't imagine to be a fly on the wall when y'all playing each other. I bet it gets heated.
Nah, it actually doesn't get as heated. When we were kids, it got heated. Because if I were to beat him, he wouldn't let me go home until
he won.
But at the same time, if I were to play like all like lighter, like chill, he'd be like, "Yo, don't let me score, or I'm gonna throw the ball at you." So it's like you can't win.
Yeah. I saw something, I think it went viral, where y'all played in high school against 𝗙𝗢𝗟𝗟𝗪 of the Ravens. Yeah. What was that like? Did you know that he was a big time football player at the time? And what was that like playing against him?
Well, I knew he was a big football player at the time, but it wasn't even just him on the team. It was him, Scotty Barnes.
Oh, real talk.
Vernon Carey, Jet Howard, Taylor Hendricks. Like it was a team. U school. They were like you knew who was on that team, and we knew. 𝗙𝗢𝗟𝗟𝗢𝗪, I don't believe he was like a huge prospect because I know he went to Boston College, but you knew he was a football player and you knew he played hard. Yeah.
Do you think, did he have the basketball skills? We don't have to put him out there like that, but you think he could have maybe made the NBA?
I mean, if he believes he could, I believe he could. He was, I don't remember how tall he was. I remember he being like 5'10".
Like,
but he played hard for sure. Okay. And he was good. Like he wasn't bad at basketball at all.
Did you play football or any other sports?
Nah. I played 1 year of volleyball.
Okay.
I didn't enjoy it. But I thought it'd be fun because it's like you learning how to jump.
Yeah.
At the time I didn't jump that high, so maybe it did help me. But no, once you add all the rotations and stuff and you actually gotta like the coach wants you to treat it as if it was basketball, which it wasn't to me. Yeah. I was like, maybe this isn't for me. Because I just can't take it serious.
If you were to play football, what position you think would you play right now?
A wide receiver.
Yeah. And that's dangerous though. Throw some pads on that. That'd be dangerous. So, all right, we can move on. So you won state championship junior year, and then you took one of the most unique paths thereafter, foregoing your senior season. And obviously not going to college, but going to OTE, Overtime Elite. What led to that thought process of, you know what, I'd rather go to OTE rather than go to college?
You know, it wasn't even like a rather. It was more like I just, at the time, I felt like it was a smarter decision. I felt like they had all the resources. They had NBA trainers, NBA coaches, national college champion coaches, and they just had all the resources, NBA course facility. So I just felt like it'd be the best place for me to go, especially not even for my college year, but for my upcoming senior year of high school. And then the college year, you know, I didn't really know what was gonna happen after the first year, but I eventually found out that I felt like that would be the best place for me to go that year too.
I mean, obviously major success at OTE. That journey was amazing. I got my stats here. Back-to-back championships, first 2 years, finals MVP, league MVP your second season. And then I believe there was a docuseries on you and your brother on the entire OTE. But what was that like being so young, having cameras and everything that came with being at OTE, but not only being there, but being that dude there?
It was definitely weird when you first get there and there's so many cameras. But you get used to it like quickly because I mean it's every day. And it was, I feel like when you went there, like we weren't, like me and my brother weren't really that guy. Like we weren't even the highest recruits to go at all. But like when we went there, I mean everybody, it was like a dogfight. Like I always remember the first time like we played, it was like it felt like nobody scored more than 2 points. But then eventually we were able to separate ourselves. Yeah.
I'm sorry. So you throw cameras in my face that young, people screaming for me, I probably go wild. What kept you or keeps you so humble?
I just don't feel like I did anything or done anything yet. You know, I've accomplished things, but like to me, they're like little things.
Mm-hmm.
Like I see a bigger picture for not just me, but the team.
Man,
even right now.
I love hearing that. How did that experience though at OTE help better prepare you for the NBA?
So many mentors. Like we would have people come in, even the person who leads the league, Damian Wilkins. He was a player.
Yeah.
So he would always talk to us about how it was in the league. Kevin Ali.
Okay.
Yeah, there were a lot of. I mean, there would be players. We would play against players in the summer. They would come over and have runs at the gym. So anybody
like
who
professional
was
players? Or?
Yeah. So my first time playing, Colin Sexton and Edwards were at OTE.
Mm-hmm.
So
all right, super successful at that level. Now it's time for that next level. Can you explain, you're about to be in the draft and probably be a pretty high pick. What was that progression like after being done with OTE to prepare yourself for the NBA draft?
I think we had like a week off, and then we started preparing. Like, what was it like? It was like 4 out of 7 days, but it was tough. It was after every workout, there would be like the 3-minute. I don't know. All the basketball players know the 3-minute running drill.
Yes, sir.
You got to get like 25. So that was.
Yeah, take us in. Like, I want to dive deeper in that. Like, what is like? Because I mean, I've always wanted to play in the NBA. Clearly not good enough, but I always wonder, what is it like for y'all? So you say that 3-minute drill. You started a week after OTE. Take us maybe just through a quick day of preparing to get into the NBA.
8 a.m. workout. Workout was like hour. We would have like a lot of coaches be there, and we would go over like game situations. Like you would play as if it was a game.
Mm-hmm.
Then at the end of it, that was only some days. Some days it was just like strictly like just a workout. But those were my favorite days.
Love that.
And at the end, we had like a 3-minute run. Yeah,
like going at it.
Yeah,
Okay.
well, it was just like a 3-minute, like just sprint, like
sprinting, like conditioning.
Because some teams do that pre-draft.
Okay.
Yeah, I ended up not even having to do it, but I would have been prepared for it.
That is dope.
Yeah.
So I know when I was younger, I always wanted to play in the NBA like a lot of people. And I'd have a Nerf hoop in my mom's living room and breaking stuff. And I would pretend like I'm being interviewed by someone and I'm Ausar Thompson. What was your like thought process on the day of the draft? Had you picked out your suit? Had you practiced interviews? How did you prepare for that moment that was coming?
I definitely picked out my suit. When it was time to interview, it was just like natural. But definitely had the suit picked out, pretty nice suit.
Yeah.
If anybody wants to check it out.
Could throw a photo on that and see what it looked like.
The suit picked out, and the interview process was long. It was like 3 hours.
Real talk?
Yeah, you get drafted. I thought my whole life, you got drafted and you just.
It's done.
Yeah, no, far from it.
Are they just trying to get to know you, or are they trying to get some gotcha questions? Like, what does a pre-draft interview look like?
More like to get to know you, the city,
Okay.
get to know you. It's usually, I feel like mostly with like local reporters, if I remember correctly.
Mm-hmm.
But nah, it's a long night.
Who did you have with you that night of the draft?
Like family?
Yeah.
Well, a man got drafted first, so he left me at my table. So but I had a lot of people. We had combined table. I had
Was that many?
I had my older brother, my parents, my grandparents, my aunt,
Wow.
cousins.
Wow. So you mentioned it. So he was number 4.
Yeah.
You got picked right after number 5. So first, what was it like seeing your brother walk across the stage?
It was cool. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy. They called him. I saw them call him, and I was like, wow, he really got drafted.
And then you hear the commissioner say, with the 5th pick in the 2023 NBA draft, the Detroit Pistons select Ausar freaking Thompson.
The Detroit Pistons. That's what he said.
He messed it up. We got to play that too.
Yeah.
What initially, right away, you knew it was you? What went through your mind? Who did you think of? What did you think about?
I don't even know. I had an idea like where I wanted to go. I knew this was a spot I wanted to be at. So when the cameras came, I was like, okay, all right, cool.
Yeah.
Like I was thinking of how I could help the team, how I could fit with Cade, J.I., other people were on the team at the time, and just that was.
Did you visit Detroit prior to that and have some kind of inkling that they were interested in you?
Yeah, I visited Detroit. I had, I feel like you could know and feel like they have an interest, but you don't really know until you get drafted. Yeah. That's the main thing people are telling me. So I felt like I was gonna end up here, but I didn't know till all the cameras come up to your table.
How much did you know about, and maybe not a ton until you got here, but how much did you know about like our history and the teams that used to play here?
I knew a lot about the history of the teams. I didn't know too much. I mean, I knew what a decent amount about the city. I'd never been here until I worked out here. First off, when I came here in the summer, it was so nice. I was like, my first thought was they get a bad reputation.
Yeah.
They get a bad reputation. And I still think that even in the winter.
Yeah.
But I knew a lot about the teams and their championship runs and the history of the team.
It's one of those kind of game recognized games thing to me. It's like, chip on your shoulder, because to your point, man, there's a bad rap sometimes on the city, but when you get here, totally different. Was there anything that specifically surprised you most about the city or about your pre-draft visit here?
About the city?
Yeah,
one,
just
the weather.
In general.
It was nice weather. Two, downtown was like, there were people outside. It was nice. Like, the people were riding those little y'all know what it is. They got the drinks on the little.
Yeah.
I don't know what it's called.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
There were people outside. It
just a vibe, right?
Yeah.
Like, people don't get it, man. Detroit's a vibe. You don't know until you know. So, but I say all that to say, you just, like, I've been here for a long time, Ausar, and just there's certain players that fit. And to hear you come here talking about team and, it's not about me. That's just what this is about. There's not to be cliche, but there is a real grit to this, man, and you fit right in. So that's awesome. So you got here, you got drafted. Did you have a moment when you finally got on the court in a real game that you were like, yep, I belong in the NBA. This is where I'm supposed to be. I fit right in. I'm here. Is there a moment?
Yeah, I mean, probably the first time I stepped on the court, I thought that, I was starting. I was like, all right. My first ever game was against KD and D-Book. I don't feel like you can't think that you don't belong.
Yeah,
facts.
Yeah,
there's no time to think that.
Facts. Do you have an off factor like, dang, that's KD, or you say LeBron, people that you looked up to? What's that like when you play against them?
Honestly, it's just like they're a normal player.
Yeah.
It feels so much different than like when you're watching, you're like, oh, that's KD. You're just like, I mean, honestly, when I play him, I don't even think that like that's KD.
That's just a player.
I'm just
right then.
It's really just a player. Some players are just better at scoring, and you just know that player is player is a possible problem, and you need to shut him down.
So I sit right next to our legendary public address announcer, Mason. So I remember your first year, you did something on the court, and Mason looked at me. He's like, "That's not Ausar, that's a star." And that's kind of, he's like trying to bring that name to you. But then you did something, Ausar, like this year, man. So I sit right there. It was a fast break. You caught it. And literally, I may be embellishing a little bit, but you tried to 2 feet dunk on someone. It seemed like from the free throw line. And him and I both were just looking at each other like, what? What goes on, man, when you using that athleticism like you do to have the audacity to think that you can finish what I almost saw you finish, but you got fouled?
I think you're talking about like Miami.
Yes, sir. Yeah. Yes, sir.
Honestly, I don't even know. That one was a little wild. I know Tech was probably mad. He's like, yeah, I didn't pass it to him. But I had seen him late, and I was like, you know what? Let me just jump as far as possible. I was really thinking like, can I dunk this?
Yeah,
and then I was like,
bruh.
Oh yeah, I could have. If I didn't bend the rim down, I feel like I really would have dunked it. But I needed to because I didn't want to land on.
Man, been here forever, and I up close have never seen nothing like that. So that was awesome. Speaking of that athleticism that we're talking about, I'm sure you already heard LeBron James. You mentioned him, but I heard him say, talking about you and talking about your brother, that you're different, and that's coming from like LeBron, who's probably one of the greatest athletes ever in the NBA. What does it feel like to hear him say that about you and your athleticism and how you're different?
It means, he recognizes. He was my favorite player growing up, so it's weird to hear.
Mm-hmm.
But I try not to listen to outside noise or even good, bad. I just try to come in and just focus. So it was cool to hear for sure, but I didn't pay too much mind to it. But
what was it like? How difficult was it for you, or easy, adjusting to the pace, of the NBA, and how much different is that from OTE, like the pace of the game and how quick and fast and strong it is?
I don't feel like it's too different. I feel like there's certain teams that definitely could push the pace.
Sure,
like
sure.
Certain teams you play and you're like, all right, this is gonna be a night. You gotta you're gonna run a little more. But a lot of teams, honestly, I try to help be the reason our team pushes the pace, because I know how hard it is to guard. That I want the teams to be like, we got to get back. We got to get back when they get the ball, or it could get deadly.
Yeah, facts. Quickly, right?
Yeah.
There's a focus and a competitive spirit, man, that you don't see in everyone. Where does that come from?
Playing my brothers my whole life, that those games were always so serious and they meant nothing. Looking back at them, but you leave the games with like tears or somebody wanted to fight. So just always wanting to win. Like, what's the purpose of playing if you're not trying to win?
Come on.
And I mean like win it all. You know what I'm saying? Like, obviously you have to take it a game at a time, but I don't come into the season. Even last year when we lost all the games, I wasn't coming in thinking about making the playoffs. That's just not how I think.
That's awesome, man. That is awesome to hear. And I think what makes this team a little different is it's authentic, man. Like, a lot of people say that, you know what I'm saying, but they don't necessarily show it and mean it. But that's what makes it so fun to be around this team right now. Your teammates, Ivy, Ron, all of y'all were number 5 picks, which I just realized that preparing for this interview. Do y'all have like a special bond because of that? Y'all, going at people as the number 5 picks with the something to prove, or is that special to y'all?
Honestly, I feel like I have nothing to prove to anybody, but we do bond off the 5th pick. I wouldn't have it any other way. I think the 5th pick is the best pick.
Yeah.
5 might be my new favorite number.
Okay.
Nah, it's not. It's not.
Psych. Well, there's a brotherhood, man, that seems to be forming. It seems like y'all generally get along, generally like each other. And, I was here when Chauncey and Rip and Tayshaun and Ben, it was very similar, man. They would hang out, not just during basketball, but off the court as well. And they developed personalities that related to, or we could relate to. I'm seeing a lot of that with y'all. What's the brotherhood like, both on and off the court with you and your teammates?
Oh, it's the best. Like, I'm not going to compare it to last year, but like, it's just the vets we brought in, they know how to balance like being serious and being a little goofy when it's time to be serious. Like, on the court, serious. Locker room, it could be a little more goofy. Just the personalities, everybody making each other laugh. Even like Ron, like he came in like, I'm not gonna lie, like, but I feel like he helped change the culture, because he came in and he'd come in, turn the music on, blast the music, play music. And we did it last year, but I don't know. I just feel like him, like we say like how the vets came in and changed stuff, which they definitely did, but it's not just the vets. I feel like it's everybody.
Love that.
Came in.
Man, it's so fun watching y'all grow, man, and seeing this. And now we got, with Cade Cunningham. Can you kind of speak to what it's like playing with, seeing Cade become and playing at an all-star level now and an all-league level? What's it like playing with Cade Cunningham?
He takes a lot of pressure off of everybody else, and there's a lot of pressure on him, but he never lets that affect him. He never, I never heard him in my life blame somebody else. Wow. If anything, I feel like he might be harder on himself. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? But no, playing with him's the best. He's definitely an all-star.
Yes, sir.
Come on. I would say all NBA.
Yes, sir.
That's not up to me. He's different. I think he's a top 3 finisher in the league, and I can't even really name a third person who finishes better than like the way he finishes.
Yeah,
I always say it because I'm like, how does he make these left-hand layups that don't touch the rim and stuff? The only person I can think is Kyrie.
Yeah,
that's.
And he might be the greatest to ever do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. You have Cade did a move last night I see you do this move all the time where you get through, step, and you swipe, get the foul and one. Is that something that do you take things from his game and vice versa and your teammates? Do y'all work on that kind of stuff, or is it kind of more natural?
I definitely work on it on my own, but I definitely I'll watch him play, and I'll especially when they post highlights, I'll try to see how he does the stuff he does, his footwork, because he got great footwork. I mean, you have to in order to score the way he does. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I definitely learn stuff from him.
Okay, we're going to wind down here a little bit, but just leadership. I'm on the business side of this organization, loving it. But this is different on both sides. And I want you to speak to, if you can, the leadership that 𝗙𝗟𝗟𝗢𝗪 has brought to the team, as well as the leadership of Coach 𝗙𝗢𝗟𝗪𝗪𝗪.
Yeah, they come every day, professional, and they, like I said about the vets, they know how to balance seriousness and joking to where you can have a conversation with them. That's awesome. And not feel like every day. I mean, you're fighting for your job. You just feel like you it's part of a family.
Nice. Goosebump on that. Let's go. All right. I coach high school. One of my kids wanted me to ask you this. What does Ausar listen to get ready for games? Who's in his music box?
J. Cole.
Talk to him.
Especially Friday Night Lights. I feel like that album is I feel like that album just gets you ready to. He's rapping with so much passion. He's rapping like he got to make it out. I feel like it just makes you want to play harder. But other than J. Cole,
come on,
Kanye, Kendrick, and Drake. But the Drake when he's actually rapping.
Facts. I mean, you asked me this. If someone were to ask me that same question, I'm much older than you. That's my same answers. Real talk. And I actually saw you shooting out here earlier. You had some Nas blasting too. So, I mean, I heard Ron has an old soul. Seemed like you might, have an old soul too as it pertains to the music you listen to.
Well, I feel like my soul is more like my older brother. That was more his time. So I just listened to the music he did. Okay. And I just liked it better than a lot of stuff.
That's dope. Yeah. Do you have any personal goals for yourself for this year? And then even some team goals as well.
I have a lot of personal goals, but, I like to keep those to myself. But team goals, I want to, take this as far as we can, I always want to win a championship. I'm going to keep saying it. That's me. And,
Favorite city to travel to?
That's a good question. New York or Miami? Miami because it's just pretty, and I know a lot of people down there. New York because, I don't know, I also like the way it looks, and I also know a lot of people out there. So, yeah.
And then lastly, on that note, toughest arena, loudest arena that you played in?
That's a good. There's a couple of them. Boston.
Always.
Utah, they got the fans right. I don't even know how to describe it.
Down.
One thing I didn't realize is that every arena was so different. But Utah got its own unique design. Sax loud. Let's say Boston has to take the cake though.
Yeah.
Boston, the whole all you see is green. Yeah.
That's dope. Okay. Well, wrapping it up. City of Detroit, how's it been treating you? You have any delicacies, any places you love to visit, any restaurants you love to attend in this great city?
Layla's is a 10.
Layla's is a 10. Okay. I've never been.
It's downtown.
Okay.
It's fire.
Yeah.
I like that. It's fire.
Listen, brother, I just want to say thank you, man. Thanks for taking the time. I know you just got out of a big workout, but hopefully you'll come back. But Ausar, on behalf, again, I've been here for 20 years, man, and there's something different here, and you're a big reason. Your attitude, your personality, and the grit that you bring, man. So we're blessed to have you, and thanks for joining us here at the official Pistons podcast, man. Appreciate you. All right.